Welcome back. I'm Aidan Sloan. For 10 years, musician Samuel Barsi has been proving that you don't need a fancy concert hall to make a difference. What started in his garage in 2016 is now a full-time music school dedicated to helping Pilsen's youth. I sat down with Samuel to learn more. Samuel, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. When did you kind of realize that you could turn this hobby into a full-time career and one that would progress into what it is today?
A music teacher isn't a music teacher till they get their first student. So I started to, look for students on Craigslist and things like that. And I did get a student, and once that happened, I'm like, this might actually be a thing that I can do. And I really think I have something to offer the south and west side of the city where I was teaching at. And so when that happened, when I got my first student, I'm like, I've really got to upgrade the facility. I got to build a website. We've got to do this legitimately and turn into a fully functioning business.
Awesome. Pilsen is changing fast, whether that be gentrification or just a new wave of people coming in. And it's not exactly what it used to be. For better or worse, that's for the community to decide. But how do you make sure your lessons stay affordable for families who've lived here for generations, and not only affordable, but accessible?
I had a mentor that helped me get better as a musician. And one of the things I learned from this guy, his name's Saul Garnier. And one of the things Saul told me is, I'm always going to have my lessons be affordable. I don't want to be one of those people that charges an arm and a leg for lessons. And so I took that to heart when I started teaching too. I don't want this to be something that only certain people can afford. I want it to be something everyone can afford. And beyond just having affordable prices in general for our tuition, we also do a scholarship program. So basically, if someone can't afford our tuition, they can apply for a scholarship just through a simple Google form. And that makes it so we can pretty much help everybody.
It's nice to see that you're spreading that mentorship down that you learned onto others, and kind of piggybacking off of that. You work a lot with people who have just moved to the country and immigrant kids and families. And you've kind of mentioned when we spoke before that you are kind of using your school and music as a way for them to get their foothold in a new area they've never been before. Why is music such a good way for someone in a new city or just going through struggle to find purpose and find their footing?
Kind of see the way that it works as far as people, establishing roots into the community is it starts with just one teacher where a student takes a lesson or starts taking lessons with the teacher, and that's like their anchor. And then from there it expands into classes and that sort of thing. And then beyond that, hopefully people are making friends. And so, like just this past week, a teacher told me, I found out that a couple people in our class are actually hanging out outside of here. And I thought that was so cool. And I'm like, man, this is the reason for what we do. One of the many reasons, but it's a big one. And so that was so exciting for me.
Awesome. And you kind of just spoke on it a little bit, but what was the first time, or can you tell us about a specific moment or student when you kind of felt that all this was worth it?
Well, there's been so many different moments, but I remember the first time that I had a student playing the recital, and that was just so exciting, just to kind of see what we were working on privately in our private lessons. And then all of a sudden it turned into this big public victory for the student where the friends were there, the family was there, and that was just so exciting.
Kind of taking it out of music for a second. What about the business has been a struggle, and what about it has been the thing that's been the redeeming quality and made you be like, okay, this is a good for the community?
Yeah, so one of the things about being a business owner is, you never really know what's going to happen from a day-to-day basis. And so some days they're very easy and the business just works really well. And other days there's like 3 things that happen at one time. So it definitely keeps it interesting. I would say that is definitely one of the more challenging sides of running the business, is you just don't know what's going to happen. You've got to be prepared to be the leader night and day, But at the same time, it's amazing seeing all the things the school does, seeing all the connections where people in the community are making friends through our school, and just seeing all the musical growth as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that's all we have here for today. I'm Aidan Sloan, and we'll see you next time. To find out more about Samuel and his impact, go to pilsenmusic.com. When we come back, our very own Sarah Gala talks to a sports reporter who's giving us a closer look into the world of women's sports broadcasting. Stick around.